There we go. I'll just try and keep myself in full view. I can't do anything. Alright, so the point is we're going to watch me play Mighty Number 9. I'm not going to be reacting on the fly because I don't have a controller in my hands. Because that was lost because I'm bad at this. But I'm sure we'll get into that while I'm doing it because I'll run out of things to talk. So without further ado, this is going to be long because there are 2 long recordings here because I had a lot of trouble with this coming level. You know, like I said, I didn't want to torch it because it is a ton of me playing the game and it actually is pretty good.
We have reports of automated vehicle malfunctions on the highway. Mighty Number 7, Brandish, spotted.
For starters...
It's Mick. I got eyes on Brand. Getting through these nutso cars ain't easy.
You know, this was a...
This could turn into a 50-car pileup any
darn
minute.
it.
Hate to ask, but I could use some help.
I did not figure out exactly that the system even existed. I suppose what that means is that every level, and I think this is me going back, was me trying to figure out, wait a minute, are they only for the levels? But I think it's like if you've beaten the boss already and you go back and do the level, like, then they'll be a part of it. But you'll see, I did eventually run into Mick. I run into him several times, so you get to see him helping, you know, assisting me. But in any event, this is Brandish's level.
I'm warning you, Beck. Stay away.
Brand, wait! I'm going after him, Professor.
Affirmative, Beck. Just be sure to mind your step traversing those vehicles. Something about Mighty Number 7's voice. Could he be?
Right off the rip, let me open up by saying, oh right, so that system is like, I think the guy, you know, in Mega Man, if you have the right weapon and you fight the boss, it does more damage to him than anyone else. Or than any other weapon. God, so sad. So I think if you get that advice thing, then that, like, is a tell. But I don't... Like, I think that was me trying it out, right? Because I figured out that guy was on the scene. His ability must be of some significant use. And, yeah, I think the immediate result here was I finally figured out how to use it, so I ran it into a bunch of these things. But I was like, oh, check it out, I'm not taking any damage, but really, that ability sucks. Like, one thing I figured out in this level significantly later on, and I hope Lona does not ruin my recording. She has been crying like nobody's business lately, so I apologize for your cat crying in the back of my video, but I'm working on that too. I swear to God, I'm gonna have a mic one of these days. But yeah, that was me, I think, getting frustrated with that weapon and just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to using the ice gun because the ice gun is perfect. And there's gonna be more plot developments on that front because I remembered something. But yeah, you know, I don't know if I've actually said it. Obviously, this recording is happening a great deal after when I played the level. That was like weeks ago, because I really haven't had time to play this, and I did a really good job at getting my footage, you know, out in front of myself, so it was like, you know, I've been editing, I've been, you know, I was just waiting for an opportunity to have another huge play session for this game, which is probably going to be tomorrow, and it's not as convenient as I would have liked it to be, but we are going to do that tomorrow, because I want to power through this game and get on to other games. I don't want to just play this forever. Anyway, a point I think I failed to make, because usually I'm too busy jumping and shooting, as you can see. This is quite difficult. I'm probably not, yeah, God. Sorry, Sam. There's a... It's really easy, like, when you're in the moment of playing the game, to forget that you're actually enjoying yourself. So here we go. This weapon here is the greatest weapon in the game, and I mean, granted, I only have half of them, so maybe one of them will be better. And maybe what I really just learned is that the seismic ability.
Be careful.
I'm trying not to speak over these parts because while I heard them 1,000 times, they're already grating on my nerves again. You guys haven't, and I don't know how many times you'll hear them because I can't remember exactly when I died. I make it a point to include my deaths, if nothing else. when I edit the videos because the deaths are, you know, the most fun part. Let's check out this gun though. Seriously, it's one-shotting all these enemies. It one-shots them. Gosh, it's got too overzealous. The dashing mechanic is weird, but we're gonna get back to that. I mentioned a little bit in the Counter Shade video that I had no idea what his role was. You know, like it's, I don't know, it's one of those weird parts about the Mega Man canon, you know, that as the games have gone on, they've had to create more elaborate characters to keep it interesting. You can't do Cut Man twice, you can't do Metal Man twice. Or at least, not by name, right? Like, the second you say, well, it's Metal Man again, you have to explain why it's Metal Man again, since they went to the trouble of giving the characters a bit of identity, a bit of characteristics in any event. So in this game, you know, which has a huge narrative to it for however you think the quality is, they've kind of tried to explain the role of these robots in society. Now, Beck is number 9, right? Like, look at that reflective bounce. It's perfect. And it still suffers or benefits from the same, you know, like, terms of, look at that. All 3 of them. That would have been so tough with any other gun.
So I can clear a path for you.
That's more like it.
Yeah, so there's Mick letting you know he's there, which I guess you'd already know because you saw the advice thing, but whatever. You know, it's a problem with a game that maybe not as I don't want to say low budget, because this is not a very low budget. That's what I paid for. But you know, you just see a game that experiences a development like this that's like has rough edges, that has kind of weird concerns when it comes to things like UI, when it comes to things like you know, just the unnecessary stuff, level transitions, dialogue pop-ups, things like that. You can always tell when a game isn't finished because those things suck. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan, I just played that. Not just, that was months ago. Maybe a year. Has it been a year since I played Turtles? I should look at those videos. You know, but it was like you could easily tell which parts of that game they actually like were able to sit down, put some polish on, make sure it worked. And then there were other parts that it was like, okay, we tested it once in the QA lab and it was kind of good, so ship it. And this game has quite a few of those. The UI system is awkward, the weapon switching is awkward. You know, the translation is abysmal, and you can, I mean, that's, sure, not everybody in Japan knows English, but it's the kind of thing where it's, you almost wonder why they tried if they were going to do it badly. You know, because it's not like it's on the way to being good. It's not even in the right ballpark.
Here we go.
I was feeling pretty good about myself. Once I found this weapon, you know, it was like the best gun ever. I felt this way kind of about the ice gun during Avi's level. But then I...
Trouble. I'll stop it. Out of the way!
So I don't actually know what happens if Mick's not there. Like, I don't know if that explodes and it makes this part significantly harder or what. And, you know, I can't go back and do it without Mick being there, so I don't know. But yeah, Counter Shade's weapon is dope. And then there's this part with the cars here. And... wait for it. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'll let you keep watching. So yeah, you know, I've been overly critical about the game just because of my experience, and I didn't really pay attention to the fact that I was really...
Stay away!
Yeah, it did not make it clear that that was going to kill me, but that first time I just had super pro reactions. I am really enjoying the game. I really enjoy playing the game. And a lot of that is certainly Sam Phoenix, who hasn't played a real platformer of any... God, that first time. He does that crosscut, and you will see it many times because it kills me repeatedly. I couldn't nail it. I couldn't do it. So I couldn't tell if it was like, because I think there's still a hitbox in there somewhere. You'll see. You'll see. We're gonna do this part many, many times. I promise. But yeah, I'm really enjoying playing the game, and there's those rough around the...
Trying to resist the malfunction, but he's not like Beck.
He's not like Beck.
Why, Beck? Why won't you give up!
I'm here to help. I've come to save you, Brand.
No closer! One more step, and my blades will have their way with you!
Brand, tell me what's happening.
I can't control myself. If you want to save me, you must destroy me.
Brandon's got a really bad attitude about this situation.
Say, ha! Must slice, must dice.
But obviously it doesn't do crap against him. I think I realized that pretty quickly. He has not a ton of attacks, but his tons are very deceptive.
Destroy me.
You know, in lieu with... Didn't see that coming. The Robot Masters are all really, really, really interesting characters.
My body, my blades, they have will.
Oh,
They are
right.
whole.
Yeah. Were you prepared for that, Sam?
Told you
No.
to stay away. Back!
That's not fair. I'm having a lot of fun. Now, it's not without fault. And let me talk about some of the faults, because that's why this recording is so flipping long.
Say, ha! Destroy me.
The dash mechanic is ugly. Like,
Strike me down.
it would be great. Predictable. It would be really good if it worked like the Mega Man X dash mechanic does, which I gotta assume is what they were going for. This is just a sloppy playthrough. Why didn't I play more carefully? The very first time I was super careful. This time,
They have will. They are
stupid
whole.
attack, right? I'm dodging him. There it is. Right, that one across the top in the middle.
I'll save you, I promise.
Even watching it, I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go.
I told you to stay away.
And then he cut me to pieces. So it draws into question, who are the Robot Masters? You know, the first level had like a digger bot or something, like a construction bot. It's, you know, had no personality. And then I think the first one I went after was Seismic.
Above you.
Nick.
Must slice, must dice.
And, you know, you can see what he's about. He's a construction robot. He works down a mine. He lifts stuff. He carries stuff. I don't know why construction robots are always dumb. Like, which is not to say that they need to be intelligent, but it's like, look at how smart the other robots are. You're telling me they couldn't spend enough brains to make him talk right?
Must dice.
When you can have robots like this one and Counter Shade that are like capable of like serious emotional and political like consideration.
My body, my blades.
I mean, look at him. He is literally fighting with the morality of murdering his friend. That is not a robotic trait in any job, and Seismic could not handle it. And anyway, there's the Ice Girl, you know? Who knows what she does, but whenever there's like an ice facility or water facility, you know, you need one robot to work that job, to work that beat. You know, they probably got a water cannon, maybe, you know, maybe even if it's just like to put out fires, you know. But for some reason, terrible. Dead. What am I supposed to do about that? You got me with it every time. Yeah, you know. So this one's wrestling with morality. Counter Shade is staging a coup. Like, what was Counter Shade built for? And I get that the plot point, you know, like one of the things I definitely talked about while I was filming this episode was the possible plot point that the reason Counter Shade rebelled is because he was given the, you know, given the intelligence. I mean, the whole dialogues when you enter the place is Dr. White. Yeah, Dr. White, Will White. I think that's his name.
Here we go.
Terrible for a character, but they made some weird naming choices in this game. Like, you can tell some of it was done just out of joking, and others parts of it were like really conscious effort to make a clever name, or maybe it just worked out that way. Maybe it's just dumb luck. Anyway, Dr. White, you know, he's like, oh, you know, he's not going to show up on your scopes. He's a stealth robot. I made him a stealth robot. And everybody's like, what? You're not supposed to do that, which, you know, it's like a huge moral thing always in these games. And it turns out one character went a little too far. You know, the Iron Man conundrum. And it's like, okay, so that's Countershade's excuse. What? You know, like, Brand here, the real pain in the butt about that gun that I just experienced there is that you have to have a lot of it to take a single shot.
Here we go.
You know, if you're good on your dashes, if you're good on your timing, because I think that there is definitely a recovery mechanic, like an auto regeneration mechanic for your ammunition. I'm just not really figuring it out. Yeah, I blew it. I tried, but I blew it, Phoenix. Yeah, so what's Brand explanation? Was he a traffic cop with swords? Was he... You know what I mean? Because, like, they have Avi. He's the airborne one. He's watching traffic. Even Mick came out here to pull some vehicular duty. So what is Brand's role except to be a cool robot ninja who could not have picked a better place to go crazy? Really. You know, you feel... Look all the other ones that kind of went crazy in a place that made sense to them. Brand was just like on the street. And then caused a car accident. Oh yeah, I found the life in there. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I found that life. This is definitely gonna last a while. So naive.
That's more like it.
So, but that being said, they're all cool characters. They are all very cool characters. All the mighty numbers so far have pleased me to a degree. I mean, Seismic, obviously, low percenter, he's the dumb one. Yeah, there it is. Dead. Why? Because you can't cleanly grab. You can't guarantee the grab. And even so, like, so, you know, if you blow it like that, there's no recovery. There's no... I couldn't get back to the car. I'll tell you, I had... Everything in the world was working against me on this recording. The ultimate reason why I lost the recording of me in this footage is that my phone died. That was my old V20, which passed the following week. The battery depleted and it started boot looping and it just never recovered. So I did my best to recover what I could off, and it was the middle of the day. Which I have a pretty good attitude towards backups and towards like data recovery, data retention. Just because I've lost things a lot in the past. I mean, I'm a computer nerd, right? I've lost stuff.
Bring it on.
Too ballsy. Yeah, just, there it is. It's weird about like exactly how you can go back and forth, like the amount of go back and forth. Like in a sequence like that, it's like you're supposed to wait. How was I supposed to know? That's just bad. That's more stuff that's like nobody played through this level enough times to make it clear. Right there. I'm getting frustrated watching myself experience this, so I'm gonna try and take a step back. Finish my stories. Oh right, Deadfall. V20 dead. Got a new one. Works fine. But all the data that was on there, toast. That included a couple recordings. Because I do record on my phone, and, you know, I'm not always really smart about copying it off the second I do. I mean, it was like, normally it takes me a day. I think it was like, I recorded this, and this was my last segment. It was late in the day. And then,
Bring it on.
Not even late in the day, late in the night. And then when I was done, I was just like, I'm going to sleep, guys. Screw it. And then the next day my phone died, so I never got the recordings.
Stay away.
But even despite that, throughout the entire recording, I was experiencing drops from my phone. Wow, I really do that when I die every single time. That I facepalm, you know, I rub my left eye. I was watching my Rain World footage, and I never realized just how much I do that, but because literally every single time I just like buzz killing thing. So I gotta assume by now in the recording I'm mad. I'm skipping cinema scenes. I'm like, my shots are tightening up. I'm not wasting anything. I get super efficient when I'm mad. I stop thinking about doing anything extraneous. Some people, when they get mad, they get really like not egregious is not the right word, but they really, I guess, exaggerate everything. You know, if you need 3 bullets, you're gonna shoot 5 bullets. If you need to press a button, you're gonna smash the button, something like that. But you know, it's just general mad stuff. But when I get mad, because I get mad a lot,
I'm going on ahead so I can clear a path.
I can sometimes use it to kind of help, like, focus my brain like a laser. Now that being said, it doesn't necessarily increase my skill level. It'll allow me to make a more precise shot. It'll allow me to,
Here we go.
you know, jump a little tighter or something like that. But it doesn't actually clean up my thought processes. So if I still don't have a fundamental understanding of what I need to do to solve the problem, being angry is just, I'm just gonna get there. He didn't grab it, right? And I'm just like, oh, poor Sam. Oh, all the stuff that was working against it. So my phone died. This level is hard, which sucks. This is when me and the controls stopped agreeing with one another, and super lucky. Like, see how I'm speed running through this? You can tell, like, my patience is just gone. Every shot's gotta be perfect. I'm dashing just the middle bear amount. Found a 1-up in there. That's pretty sweet. I can't remember if it was a 1-up or stuff, but
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we
infamously, you know, there have been times, like several games throughout my history,
That's more like
that I could only win because I was angry. The power of my rage.
that's more
Super Meat Boy, which is, if you're seeking to 100% it, quite possibly one of the most hardest aggravating games
Here we go.
in the history of games. But I 100%ed that, but that was only because literally one night I was like wall-punchingly furious. Every time I went to that game and I had a level head, I just blew it, because eventually I was like, I don't care, who cares, I'm just walking away.
That one's gonna be trouble. I'll stop it. Out of the way!
So, Mix sucks. The Cryo robot, she was cool. I think her name is Cryo. I can't remember what her full name is. I have had some exposure to this game since this recording. My son, Logan, he actually watched my video because he's my biggest fan and I love him. And then decided he wanted to play Mighty Number 9. Which didn't go so great because,
Bring it on.
you know, let's be honest, I started playing games like this when I was his age and I never stopped. I've never had a break from, like, obnoxious platformers. So, even if I don't necessarily know the game, you know, they're still coming up with new stuff. The basic tenets of, like, jump, dash, shoot, wall climb, all that, I got it. You know, a situation like this, it's like car jumping. How many times have I done car jumping in a game? So, yeah, that crosscut, it blew my mind every single time. Whatever. Well, Logan hasn't, you know, he's just starting, so, you know, he's having trouble with this stuff. Jumping, like a super long jump and a super long shoot, multi-dashing, all things like that are like, well, if you were a Mega Man veteran, you'd know this stuff, but it's like, for a kid who's been playing Angry Birds and Lego games and, you know, he plays some Twitch games, but the stakes are so much lower now in games.
That's more like
You know, I was just reading because I have a Switch. You know, Mario Odyssey doesn't have a game over screen. And discussion being had was, well, does that diminish the gameplay? Now, the God's honest truth is it doesn't, right? Because Mario Odyssey is apparently a very fantastic game. Again, I don't know how
Bring
to
it
say
on.
it, but everybody I know who's played it has said it's glorious, right? It's a truly fantastic. That was just hubris. That might have been the dash button. I may have pressed the dash button, it didn't come out. It's really weird. It's really, really touchy. The shooting and the jumping give you, and even the running, give you the feeling that, like, you're really in control of 9. And then you'll do a dash and he'll miss a ladder, or you'll do a dash and he will turn, but not, you know, like you'll press the opposite direction and he'll turn. and then you fall and you die. And it's just like, I don't understand why that's like that, but everything else is like this.
That's more like it.
But tangent aside,
Bring it on.
you know, Logan plays his fair share of Twitch games. Not a ton. He doesn't really like them because I don't really force him on it. When I was young, like Mario was all we had. All we had was unfair, not even unfair, but just like platformers. Games that were like, okay, I hope your reflexes are good, kids, because otherwise your Saturday is ruined. Now, you know, it's like if Logan wants to sleepwalk through his game, he can actually just fire up, you know, like a Marvel Superheroes, a game which has literally no death penalty. Mario not Galaxy, whatever the currently one is. Mario Genesis? That's not what it's called. Odyssey. There we go. Super Mario Odyssey. Doesn't have a game over screen. And the debate was, does that detract from the game's fun? I don't know. I guess in a sense it does, because a lot of a game to me, I mean, you can see my entertainment level even in watching this, like just watching myself struggle through this. Ugh, like that time, I got it, and then it bounced me off. This is actually the rant I'm having in the video right now, because I was so mad at the controls. Doing a little bit of injustice over here. How about it, buddy? Poor me died again. Sorry, Phoenix. But I can almost never predict. I can gather what things he's gonna like pretty easily, but I can never gather what element of the thing he's gonna like. If it's the weapons, or the people, or the stories, or the pets, like the things that I don't know. I don't really know what he sees in Ninjago, because he does not really go for people-driven stories. Like, he's not even superheroes. He doesn't really like superhero characters. Oh, fine example, Pokemon. That's what he's most into right now. He does not really care about Ash or Misty or Brock or any of the characters, even the ones they meet in other cities. He does, however, have a firm bond with every single Pokemon. Every single member of the Pokemon Pokedex is his favorite Pokemon. And, you know, some people say things like that because they're like, I just don't want to pick one, it's too hard, I don't want to discredit one thing versus another. But quite literally, I think he loves them all. Pikachu may be in like a slight lead, but Deno, and we just saw the movie that had Ho-Oh, and well, just a bunch of bullshit. Screwed myself again. Bunch of other guys in it. You know, he learns them. He learns them super fast. Starts talking about them. But he had trouble. He had trouble playing the first couple levels. He still likes the game. He's still having fun. He's stubborn like his own man, old man. So he did slam his head against the wall the entire time. Not even like, because you know, I was eventually like, "Hey, son, maybe throw in the towel." But he persevered. He kept going. We eventually had to stop because we had to go somewhere, and that was the last time he played. But he played the first level, which I haven't done yet. It's the fire guy. And I also looked just a touch into the lore of the thing because I wanted to find out more about the Masters, or Mighty Numbers, more than anything else. You know, they but it was a fruitless endeavor. Like the Mighty Number 9 fans, like the actual fan base is pretty ravenous. You're not going to be able to find unbiased commentary on this game in terms of like spoilers, right? Everybody already knows everything about it because it came out last year, and even before then, everybody was, you know, everybody wanted this game to succeed. Everybody wanted this to happen. So, you know, everything that they released about it, every time, I'm just getting run ragged here. I don't know, like those guys, they get me every single time. You know, they wanted Mighty Number 9 to work, so yeah, I mentioned in some other videos that a lot of games now have ARG content, augmented reality content, or ARC, I guess, which is just like, I don't know when it started for me. Again, a decade ago, PlayStation 2 era maybe, so maybe even longer. It was neat because there was some extra stuff out there, but
Bring it on.
you know, it has accelerated now to the point where like companies are hiding behind putting the actual background on the internet. Capcom is a huge offender of that, but you know they're not the only ones. Electronic Arts, Activision, lots of these games now. You know, they throw a huge campaign at their fan base,
I told you. Stay.
which is great for the fans. You know, it's really nice to do that kind of like favor to your fans because you know, like that's how you're gonna sell your game now. You're not just gonna make a sweet game anymore. There's a million sweet games. You gotta do something. But people who aren't a part of that fan base, because either they don't know or they're getting into the game late, like which is usually my case now. Like I'm way behind because I just dropped this game. I'm never gonna know, you know. Links dry, and that's another right. So there is huge problem with the dash system. If you have to finish them by dashing them, but like the dashing kills his momentum, so you dash enemies and then you lose your dash. You know, like if you nail it, if you truly nail it, then yeah, you get it. You know, you can travel and get multiple enemies and, you know, get your dash, but in several casual situations, you dash, you hit the enemy, the whole game pauses for the UI to acknowledge you got the dash. The enemy pauses to explode, and instead of continuing on your natural trajectory, you just fall to your doom. Again, I just can't, you know, I'm not the kind of gamer to make a ton of excuses on the game, and I'm not trying to make an excuse here, which is in and of itself making an excuse, but it's just like, I get that it's probably a skill that I could ultimately learn. Like, I could get a good understanding of it, I can figure out how to do it the best way. I'm not going to because I don't have the kind of time for a game of this caliber, but because as good as this is, as much fun as I'm having enjoying the characters, let's be realistic about
My
this.
body, my blades, they have a will all their own.
Oh, still got me. I think at this point I had just resigned
I'll
myself
save you, I promise.
to eat it. Not that useless thing. What the heck was I thinking? Oh, I was probably thinking,
Stay away.
let's find out now if this is the way to beat him, because I felt I was gonna die. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna play through this game and I'm gonna be done with it. I'm never gonna replay it because
Why back?
it's a good game.
Why won't you?
I already paid for it once.
Predictable.
But it's not, it doesn't have any replay value here, man. Like, and that's really what gets a game though. Either it has to be truly exemplary, or it has to have some replay value to it. You know, like Doom, I bought, even though I haven't finished that game, even though I can't even finish playing it. Because that game just blew me away right off the feet. This is fun, but there are definitely 1,000 platformers on PC that can match its caliber. I mean, you look at Rain World. You know, Rain World is a totally new game. It involves platforming, light combat, but mostly platforming. And it's dope. This is like, we've tried to make Mega Man X again, and we didn't even do that great a job. I can see why the fans are mad.
My body, my blades.
But fun enough to play through once, man. Got owned again. I don't know. I guess I'm really wishy-washy about this game. I don't want to completely trash it because I'm having fun with it. Like, I do generally enjoy playing the game. I'm sure once I've done it once, I'll be like, never again. But the process of actually understanding these robot masters and doing the level changes is very fun. But the other time, it's like, this game doesn't seem to recognize that it was released in 2017, and it was released at retail price, too. You can do the subpar thing if you're going to release your game for $10, $15, $20. But if you're going to do a Kickstarter campaign and come... So I actually beat him this time. So we'll let the cinema scenes rock. I can stop carving my name in the back of this game. Because I can be so mean. I'm honestly just upset that I'm not playing. Like, this whole process is neat. I'm glad I was able to do it, and I think I successfully pulled it off what I'm trying to accomplish here, but... Rex Selection, I know how to pronounce that now. I've, seen a couple videos. The thing is, in all those videos you saw before, that was the day I played. This is weeks after I played. So I've already watched and rewatched, and my kids played, and I've seen more, so... I know a little bit more.
Yes, Senator. Oh, yeah, our full resources are dedicated to resolving... Yes, sir. Oh, that's very wise of you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes. Idiot! Why are they hounding me about the problem and not torturing Blackwell to get the answer? This is twice that old goat has made me look like a fool! No! Cherry Dynamics, Gregory Graham speaking. Yeah, pleasure to hear from you, sir. Yes. Oh, yes, sir.
We're gonna go back to the...
What should we
We're gonna go back to the regular stuff for the next recording. Flippity floppity floop. I hope you have a great day. This was just a one-time thing because I blew it. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
What should we tackle next?